Hi you guys, it's Tammy from Shrinking by the DS, and I'm back in my car. This is the first time I've driven myself anywhere alone since January 21st. And today is Tuesday, March 5th. I did drive for the first time over the weekend, March 2nd and 3rd, Saturday and Sunday. I drove both days with someone in the car just to make sure. It had been a while and I still have a good deal of healing to do, and so I just wanted to make sure it was good because I have a hair appointment this week. Thank goodness. Get rid of this little silver halo I've got going here. But yeah, today is like my first day of real independence. I have a really tall car, big SUV, 8-passenger SUV, and so I was a little worried about getting in and out of it, but I have a step in it and it's actually quite easy, and it's almost easier getting in and out of this car than it is lower ones because it's harder for me to squat down than to get up or to be up. Getting up and down is hard. Not hard, it's a little challenging. It was hard. Now it's just not the easiest, but it's doable. But that is always when I feel at my most vulnerable for injuring my incisions, is when I'm getting up and down, because you're stretching your lower body one direction and your upper body is going the other direction, and so you're pulling in two opposite directions. And so with my 360 lower body lift, the belt lipectomy, I always worry about that one. And that's the one place that I did actually tear in the back. I had told you guys I had about a 1.5 inch tear on my hip bone just to the left of my spine, which is completely healed over now. I think it took 2 weeks. But yeah, it's all completely filled in. A lot of my scabbing is falling off. I probably still have maybe 8 to 10 good size scabs, and not good size as in a large area, but deep. They're quite thick, and so yeah, they're still healing from the inside. The others seem to be very surface, which is weird because obviously my incisions were the same depth everywhere, but these areas just healed differently for some reason. But overall, it looks really good. I've been posting pictures on Instagram. So if you want to see the progression, go there. Sorry, I'm all bundled up. It's 34 degrees here in Portland, or Lake Oswego today, and it's so cold. When I woke up, it was 26 with a real feel of 19. So it's a tad chilly, and I turned off my car so that you could hear me better. What else? So yeah, healing really well. My mobility is getting better. I can kind of bend, half squat enough to get close to the floor with my hand. I can't get anything that's flat on the floor, so if I drop like a piece of paper, I can't get that with my hand. But if I drop a piece of clothing, I can kind of bunch it up with my foot, and then when it's up off the ground a couple of inches, or however far, then I can kind of snag that with my hand. So that's nice. I'm using my little claw thing a little less. I still have to use it to do laundry, and I have done a couple loads of laundry, which is nice too. It feels good not to be such a burden on everyone in the house. I just lay around and they do all the work, and so it's good. Everyone in my family has been incredibly supportive, and I don't know how people do this on their own, because it really, it made my life so much easier and so much more pleasant to have them around. Yeah, hats off to those of you who can do this without a team of carers, because I don't even think I could have at first, to be honest. I just don't think I could. It was rough. I could now because I'm able to do things, and I could probably push myself more And I probably could have pushed myself a little earlier too, but I had the luxury of not doing that. And I honestly think that it's really important that if you can rest, do it. That was the thing that my surgeon told me was rest. Up for 8 weeks, up until 8 weeks, just rest. And I've really followed his advice. And I seem to be healing well. My scars look good. My arms look amazing. The scars are really narrow on my arms. And I think that others will look better and better. You know, my arms healed first. And I think part of that is because they're higher up on my body. My arms and my breasts healed very quickly. I still have a little scabbing under my left breast. And I had a scab that came off yesterday at the insertion point in my right breast. So right where he inserted the scalpel to begin with. You know, it's a very deep, sharp incision, like a hole. And so that was a real deep scab. And that just came off yesterday. But other than that, yeah, my breast scars are almost non-existent already. And my arm scars are nearly there. So I honestly really think that having them higher up on your body, you know, so that everything's draining down, makes a big difference. I've been really good about keeping my legs elevated. So I'm hoping that that helps my leg scars to be really good as well. But I did have that infection in my left leg. And so I do notice it's a little darker around my knees. And actually, both of my legs had the drains in longer. And the drains irritated my tissue around on the insides of my knees. And I can see that still. So they don't look as good as my arms, but they still look good. My torso, I would say that my torso, the anchor cut on my torso, so from my groin to my sternum, is probably my least favorite. And that was the one that I was always waffling on getting anyway. And I think it's probably my least favorite because it's up front and center. So when I'm standing, that's what I see. It's right there in the middle of my torso. It's really thin up towards my ribs. And that part healed very quickly. Down further, it's taken a lot longer, and I have one area where the doctor thinks that I probably burst a couple of my internal stitches, and so that is taking a while. And it's a little bit wider. It's probably 1/2 inch wide, whereas the rest of it is 1/8 of an inch at the most, 1/16 of an inch. It's really narrow. And that's right above my belly button, and it was wide and deep, which is why he thinks that I probably popped the internal stitches, and it stays moist, particularly when I have my compression garment on. And so what I've been doing to help with that, because I really want that to heal, I don't want it to stay like that, what I've been doing, and this is not what surgeons recommend, it's just what I do, is I've been wearing my upper, so my compression garment is 2 pieces. It's like almost like a bolero jacket that goes to my ribs and then has 3/4 sleeves. And then I have what looks like, kind of like ski pants or overalls, but the overalls that come like lederhosen, yeah, or a dirndl rather, they come underneath your breasts and then have straps. So it's high in the back, low in the front, and that's for the bottom part of my body. And that does my lower torso and my legs, my hips, and all of that. So I've been wearing my upper garment all the time to keep my breasts in place so that the encapsulation occurs where it should and holds them right. But I've been not wearing my lower garment whenever I'm laying in bed at home. And then I also keep my torso exposed to the air at that time. And that's really been helping a lot. Since I started doing that, my torso spot above my belly button has really started healing a lot faster. I also have pretty deep scabbing right above my groin. So at the bottom of the anchor, so you have an anchor and it goes like this. And it's got the little curve at the bottom and it's got the thing that comes down the middle. So right where the curve meets the up and down part, right there, that little tri area at the bottom, that is also quite heavily scabbed. And that's normal. He had told me that anywhere where you have 3 pieces of skin coming together, it's going to be a weak area, and you know you're going to get more scabbing there. But the scarring doesn't look bad there. And so that area also, when I wear my compression suit, also gets wet. And so having this off when I'm laying down has helped both of those areas quite a bit. So that's what I do. If I'm going to be up for any length of time, if I'm going to be out at all, I always am in full compression, and I will be. And I can tell a difference in my swelling. At first, you know, my swelling's not bad, but if I've been laying around the house for a couple of days, and so I haven't worn my bottom for a couple of days, when I put it on, it's tight, for sure. I can put it on the loosest setting, but there's no way I can get it past that. And there's 3 settings, and I can get it on the loosest one only. After I've been wearing it for a day or 2, nonstop, 23 hours a day, taking it off only to shower, then I can get it to the 2nd and 3rd, to the smallest. And I'll start wearing it 24 hours or 23 hours a day again once all my scabbing is gone, and that way I don't have to worry about those moist areas. So I look forward to that, because it actually, the compression's not terribly comfortable, but it is comforting because it gives you the support, and I feel a lot more secure in it. I do wish I could wear it all the time, especially in bed, because you're on your, I can lay on my side. The doctor told me the day after surgery that I could lay on my side. And so I have to just turn very carefully. I have to like lift myself up off the bed, because I can't turn and have my skin drag on the sheet, because it scrapes my incisions and it'll scrape my scabbing and stuff like that. So I have to do it very gingerly, but I can, and I just stick a pillow in between my knees and then one on my chest. Excuse me, I'm tired. Sorry, healing takes a lot of energy. One on my chest so that I can kind of get my arms around it, and my arms aren't laying against my body. But having the compression garment on makes it a lot easier to turn in bed. I don't actually have to lift myself up then. I can just spin slowly, but I can. So I do look forward to all my scabbing being gone. I expect that it will be gone in 2 weeks. Today is actually my 6-week post-op anniversary, so to speak. So I'm about, I think they say I'm about 70% healed now. And at 8 weeks, I'll be 80% healed. And I should be pretty much entirely healed on the surface. It will still be the internal incisions that are still healing. So I still have to be careful, because I don't want to, do anything that ruptures anything or anything like that. But I'll have to be a little less careful with the outside, just with brushing against things and touching things and that kind of thing. What else? My weight, I am still weighing about 122. I don't like it. I can tell I've got looser skin. I mean, you guys see me every week. I've always got a little bit, but I can see a lot more. I can see a lot more sagging. I would like to regain a few pounds. Oh, that reminds me. I've had a few people, this isn't plastic surgery related, this is duodenal switch related. or weight loss surgery related in general. I've had a few people ask me how I was so successful in losing my initial weight. And everyone's different. We always say that. You hear it ad nauseum in this community. And we are all different. So part of it could be that I had the advantage of some kind of genetics. But I mean, I was fat. We were all fat. That's why we had weight loss surgery. So genetically, I'm not that different. You know, it's not like I've always had this fantastic metabolism that just burned. I have it now, but I didn't have it then. And losing weight wasn't always easy for me. I didn't lose like a man. You know how they go on a diet and they drop 20 pounds and their weight loss curve looks like this and ours looks like this. And mine looked like this too. You know, it was a stair step. I would go down, and then I would go up, and then I would go down, and then I would just plateau, and then I would go up a little and then down. So it wasn't that it was easy for me. But if I had to pin it on one thing, it was that I was extremely strict with my food during my weight loss phase. And for my weight loss phase, I would consider that February 19th so the third week of February to the third week of November of 2017. And I mean really strict. 20 or less net carbs, I think it was. I didn't eat anything that had more than 1 or 2 grams of added sugar. I didn't eat tomatoes. I didn't eat tomato sauce. So no ricotta bake for me. I didn't eat fruit. I didn't eat any vegetable like a carrot or pumpkin or anything like that because it was starchy. If I ate a vegetable, it was something like zucchini or yellow summer squash. So I was really, really strict, very strict. And like I said, it still didn't mean that I lost like crazy that whole time. I didn't just plunge straight down. It took me those 9 months, I guess it is. I think I lost 110 pounds in those 9 months. So that's what, 12 pounds a month, something like that. So it wasn't crazy. But after those 9 months, I decided to take a little break. I was not yet as low as I am. I think I weighed 140 or 145, something like that. But I decided to take a break because the holidays were coming and I had been really good. And I was at that time trying to find where I wanted to be in a final weight. And I kept thinking I wanted to be around 120 because the rule of thumb was 100 pounds for 5 feet and then 5 pounds for every inch after that. I'm 5'4", so 120. So I kept thinking that I wanted to be around there. But I was pretty happy at 140 or wherever I was, 135, 145, I can't remember. I think it was 140, 145. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the holidays off and not go crazy and shove my face into a pie every day. But just if I wanted a Christmas cookie, I was going to eat a Christmas cookie. If I wanted a couple bites of yam with my Thanksgiving dinner, I was going to eat yam. If I wanted a roll with butter, I was going to eat that because I didn't eat any of that stuff. I didn't eat low carb bread. I didn't eat low carb cookies. I didn't eat protein cookies. I didn't eat protein bars that had crazy calories. I didn't eat a lot of things that had sugar alcohols. I didn't eat things that were high carb, high fiber. I did count net carbs, so I did minus out my fiber, but I didn't replace the things that I craved with diet replacements, if that makes sense. So no protein cookies. I ate some protein bars, but not very many because I found that they, went down a little easily and were like candy bars and I could justify them. Some of them. Some of them I couldn't even justify because the carbs were just ridiculous. But I didn't do that kind of thing until Thanksgiving. And even then I think I had a couple bites of yam, which I loved. And I had a couple bites of pie, and I had a couple bites of a roll. So I didn't go crazy, but I allowed myself to have those things. And I don't think I lost a whole lot that month. I did it from Thanksgiving until New Year's. And then I decided to get back on track. And I think I lost like a pound or two. You can go back and I have a video. I should have looked at it. Sorry. I think I lost a pound or two. So I didn't gain anything, but I didn't really lose either. And then I decided that I was going to, kind of flip back and forth and figure out where I wanted to land. And so I stopped eating so many carbs, but I didn't stop it as much. I wasn't as strict as I was before. And then I think maybe the end of January, I just finally said, you know what? I'm just going to eat intuitively, the way that I know I should eat, but not necessarily on a diet. And where my body lands, because I'm happy. This is good. And so from that time until maybe May, I think, or April, is when I got down to 130. And so I continued to lose some weight. My body settled at 130.2 or 130.4 or whatever it was, and it stayed there. I mean, it was on point, and it was crazy. And I then went into maintenance, and I had to really eat in order to maintain. And I still do. Now I still make the lower carb choices. We had Sloppy Joe's the other night. Sloppy Joe tasted really sweet to me. I don't think I would have used that again. I'll probably make my own, but at this point I can't because of my surgery. So we had Sloppy Joe's, and I had a half of a bun, and whenever I choose a bun or a roll, I always eat the bottom half because it's always thinner than the top half. So that's what I had, was half of a roll with the Sloppy Joe stuff on it. I didn't have the other half of a roll. I had enough Sloppy Joe mixed. I could have had both sides, but I didn't. So, I don't diet anymore. I eat Girl Scout cookies. I eat tons of stuff, but mostly what I eat is still the stuff that I know is good for a de-esser. I eat eggs with sour cream, and I eat cheese, and I eat meat, and I just, that's my natural default now. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. We get this tool and we learn how to eat properly and to make the right choices. It doesn't mean that you make them all the time. There are times when you have the yam or whatever, but you don't have 2 yams. You have a half a yam, that kind of thing. Or you have the Girl Scout cookie. The other day, I paid them $5 not to sell me a box of cookies because I knew if I bought them, I had already eaten 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies since my surgery. That's 6 weeks, you guys. And I ate a box of Tagalongs and a box of Do-si-Dos because I'm a peanut butter girl. And I think I ate like half a sleeve of Thin Mints too, now that I think about it. So I eat a lot now, but I still, for the most part, the majority of the time, I make the right decision. And when I was in my weight loss mode, I did not eat that kind of stuff. I was so strict, and I ate no carb that was not an incidental carb. And so that's my advice. If, for what it's worth, if you guys think that my results are something that you want, and you want to know how I did it, that's how I did it. I just did not carb. I didn't do fake baked goods, no fake bake. I didn't, eat almonds because they were higher in carbs. I ate macadamia nuts because they were higher in fat. And so that's a de-esser thing. For VSG, you probably go for the almonds. But, yeah, ditch the carbs. That's all I can say. So that's my advice. I was gonna do a fun thing, but this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna wait and do it in a separate video. But the other day I was messaging with Back to Barbie DS, and she's the cutest thing. She's adorable. I love her, and she's got a fantastic sense of humor. And we were talking about a DS starter kit, a tongue-in-cheek DS starter kit, and the things that we would put in it. And so I'm going to do a little video on the things that I think should go in a DS starter kit, and then you guys can chime in and tell me if I missed anything. If Barbie and I don't even know if that's probably not her name. That's how I always think of her. I bet that's not her name. How embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I know you watch these videos. I don't even know her name. That's terrible. But if she and I missed anything, you guys can tell us. I guess that's it, you guys. Have a great day. It's cold, but it's sunny and beautiful here. Tomorrow we're supposed to get rain and snow again for 3 days, but it's not going to stick because it's going to be warmer because it's going to be cloudy. Frankly, I'd rather have the colder, sunnier weather, but hey, nobody asked me. Have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for bearing with me through all of this process, and thanks for following and your words of encouragement and all of that stuff. And I hope I didn't scare you away from having plastics. That was never my intent, but I did want to let you guys know my reality. I'm a fairly positive person, but I found it very hard to recover. And I think that's kind of important. I just feel like if you go in with this rosy lensed view, like I did, because I saw everybody's videos that were like, oh yeah, it's great, oh, it's a little hard, but no big deal, and it's just so fabulous and so worth it, and blah, blah, blah. Whew. Let me tell you, I was really unprepared. I would have done things a little differently. So that is my intent for you guys, not to scare you away from plastics, certainly not to scare you away from Dr. Salcedo or having plastics in Mexico. My experience with him and his nurses and the clinic there was fabulous. I would recommend it. And there are other fabulous surgeons in the US. There's other fabulous surgeons in Mexico. Alex Galvez looks like he does amazing work. So yeah, I just wanted to give you kind of a realistic view on what my experience was, just in case you're like me and maybe you don't bounce back quite as quickly as some people. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye.